This episode of Muddy River Gems is brought to you by Dot Foods.
I think what it comes down to is the culture and the people.
Our culture here at Dot is like no other. I've never experienced anything like what I've lived with for the last 12 years.
Dot is very diverse.
It is truly a family-owned business, but it is a family inside and out.
You always feel like you matter and you play a big hand in the pot.
There's so many opportunities to make a difference at Dot and really contribute to the success of the organization.
It has been a busy harvest season. I'm sure that we've all been frustrated, stuck behind farm implements on the highway. Well, did you ever wonder what happens to all that grain when it gets loaded onto a truck and leaves the field? Well, just watch this edition of Muddy River Gems, brought to you by Dot Foods. Roger, we're near the end of the harvest season. We're here in mid to late October, but it's really hot, isn't it? There's a lot of product coming in, and it may be this way for a few more weeks.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
At Ursa Farmers Co-op, you've got, 9 locations similar to this?
Yes.
This is a big one. You handle a lot of grain here. Give us an idea of what goes on here.
Yeah, this is the biggest location we have. So talking about the harvest. So where we're at here, it is late October. It's the 21st day of October today. In general terms, the Illinois side, we're probably about 10 days away with the harvest wrapping up. On the Missouri side, we've probably got another month of harvest over here. Mm-hmm. I always say that on the Illinois side, we start Labor Day and we finish up about Halloween. On the Missouri side, we start Labor Day and we finish up about Thanksgiving. Uh-huh. So the Canton location here was built in 2012. In general terms, taking it back a step, Ursa Farmers Co-op was established in 1920. And it started in Ursa, Illinois. And then we moved off, we built a facility down at Meyer. And then, so those early days, we actually brought all the Missouri grain would come across a ferry boat. So in its prime, we would bring 4 million bushels of grain across the ferry boat that would go into our Meyer location. Mm-hmm. In 2012, at the request of a board member who's no longer with us, he passed away, by the name of Kevin Carey, the push was on to get a facility in Missouri. And so 2012, we broke ground, we built this facility, and we've expanded ever since. So in its prime, there was about 4 million bushels of grain went across that ferry. And so over here, we've grown. And today, this location has about 6.4 million bushels worth of storage on it. In fact, what you're looking at right here.
You mean at one time you can store that much here? 6.4 million?
At one time, we can store 6.4. At one point, that grain bin you're looking at there was the largest grain bin in the world.
Wow.
That is 156 foot in diameter, hold 2 million bushels worth of grain.
And so there's 3 of those, huh?
So no, there's 1 of those, and then there's 3 132 footers.
Okay.
So those other ones are smaller. It's hard to look at and compare and say that they're smaller.
Oh, they're remarkable.
So over here, you've got the Canton location. You can see that the inbound trucks are coming through. We still are in the midst of, there's a lot of soybeans that are coming out of Chet. There's a lot of corn. So that's what's coming across. This is the inbound scale that comes through. You know, our number one goal with every one of our locations is to get our customers in here fast.
Uh-huh.
They've got a lot of work to do. They're fighting the weather. Their goal is to be able to come here and turn and burn. Our goal would be on normal times between 6 to 10 minutes to have a load of grain come through, hit that scale, make it all the way back out and be out of here.
No kidding. And then they go get another load, and there's a good chance they'll come back again today, and maybe a third time today.
Or maybe 10 times today.
Wow, okay.
So there is a lot of bushels that are gonna flow through this elevator. Mm-hmm. So this is our busy time. This is where we're at. The city of Canton's been very good to us. We've also tried to be very good to the city of Canton. Across the road over there is kind of a staging area. So if the trucks are too heavy to come through here, not too heavy, but too many, then they can stage over there. We can see those trucks are rolling through in order to stage to come through.
Yeah. Now you picked this location partly because it's on the river. So you also can load barges from the same location?
Yes.
Okay, so it wouldn't be necessary then to store that much all the time because you're always constantly moving it out, huh?
Yes. Well, we're going to take in more than 6 million bushels of grain here. So we're loading. So there's a barge belt that we put in that'll move 30,000 bushels per hour. It's 1,136 feet long. It goes out to the river, and it's run. We've replaced it. Now we've replaced that barge belt 3 times since we've been here since 2012. So this is a busy location. Again, it starts with everybody. Our merchandiser, their role is to get that truck to want to come here, to get off the road, to get here. The people in the office, their role is to make sure that this person's having a good experience. We probe it, we run the grade, we send it down. The team down below that you'll see here shortly, their goal is to get that truck dumped. We dump all the trucks for them. The truck driver doesn't get out. Then that truck gets dumped and it comes back out and it goes out here and it's gone. So that's the role, turn and burn. And my adage is, if we do things right, if they have a good experience coming through, they will come back.
Right. Okay, so 10 minutes and that truck driver can be back on and get back to the farm again. What we need to do is we got to go and say, okay, I see you probing these things now.
Yep.
That grain's got to go somewhere and it's got to be weighed and moisture, see what the moisture is.
Yep.
That happens inside in the office,
That
right?
happens inside an office.
Can we go in there now?
We sure can.
Okay.
We sure can. So we've probed the trucks. The grains come to. Terry actually probed this truck. The sample come to and it come down. So we probed it, sample comes in. We take the grade. Julie over there will grab the grade. She'll put it on that ticket. And when this truck comes on here, all they do is they weigh it and they send it down to the pit. And if you can see up on here, there is a designation on the board out here. There's an RFID board. What's really cool at this location and all locations we have is each one of the farmers have got what's called an RFID tag. And it's stuck in their truck. And this tag looks like this. This tag is stuck in the bottom of their truck in their window. Okay. And when it's stuck in their window, when that truck comes across that scale, it picks it up. And it'll show up on that screen over there. See, it showed up on there. It'll show up on the screen that this is Roger Hugenberg.
Okay,
coming
so
across
that's
the scale.
code. That code is only for that
It's got
truck.
a little chip, and it's what it does is it tracks what the last load was, what the last split was. So when that truck comes across, that tag picks it up. We know who it is. It shows up on there, and then we actually will weigh it. They'll get the designation, and then they'll tell which pit they want it to go to.
Okay, so the weighing is going on right now.
The weighing's going on right now.
The probing has already been done. I'd like to concentrate on that probing a little bit because you're going to you're sampling the grain is what you're doing.
We are.
And then that probe comes into, let's see how this works here, because that probe is full of grain and it exits down into this tray here.
So that probe is going to be a representative sample of what the quality is on that truck. So this is going to be the sample associated with the quality on that truck, and that's what the whole load is going to be graded upon.
Okay, and she has pressed the soybeans lever, and it's measuring those beans right now, and it's going to come up with a sample of moisture is 12.2%. How is that? Is that good?
That's very good. That's very good. Beans within tolerance in there is going to be 13% before there's any discounts on it. And so the test weight's good as well. We've been surprised this year with strong test weight, especially on soybeans.
So what you need is you've already weighed the product. You know what the weight is.
Yep.
This tells you what the moisture is.
Yep.
Those two things determine what the price will be?
No, that doesn't determine the price, but it determines if there's any discount associated with the price. So you've got the weight.
Yeah.
Everything's done on pounds. Everything's done on pounds. Yeah. The farmer wants to know how many bushels, but everything's done on pounds. And then there is a standard on there of what the standard grade. And so this was within this grade standard, so there's no discounts. So then it's a function of the price. And if you turn around and look, that board there is going to show what's happening today. For example, that was soybeans that come to. Soybeans are unchanged today. And then so that farmer had to let this group know of what they're going to do with the grain. Is it coming in on contract? Are they going to sell it today just spot? Spot means they're just going to take the cash market.
Okay.
So that's part of a longer story if you want to know about the markets. So the markets change all the time. So right now our bid sheet is showing right here. So the girls have got the bid sheet here. So those beans, today we're paying $10.05.
Okay.
And the market's unchanged, so the cash market is $10.05 on beans. So if they wanted to sell those beans today just for spot, just across the scale, then that'll go in there and we'll put $10.05 on the ticket and they've sold those beans.
Then how do they get paid?
They get paid, so they request a check. And they can request a check anytime, and then these girls here can spit it out, and we can spit out a check at any location. And they can get paid on every load. That's one of the things we pride ourselves on paying. They have to let us know what they want and when they want it, and we accommodate that. So right now you can see straight ahead, they've got their pit designation of where they're going to go to. Trucks come across the scale, They were probed, they had a great determination, and then they got to wait, and they were told which pit to go to. So depending upon what commodity they got on, they're going to come down here and dump into pits 1 through 4.
Okay.
So what's unique about this location is that we've got 4 pits here. 2 of the pits will handle 20,000 bushels per hour. 2 of the pits will handle 30,000.
Okay.
So you've got 100,000 bushels per hour that this thing can receive and handle at one time. That's pretty impressive when you think about how much volume it can come through here and go.
Again, they're given a pit destination because it's either corn or beans or another product.
Yep.
And they just need to know where that's going to be dumped.
They need to know which one they're going to go on.
Okay.
Yep.
And when we get up there, we're going to see the dumping process.
Yep.
You do it a little differently than most operations, don't you?
We do. We actually dump the trucks. We've got a lot of folks that really appreciate that. And there's a couple things for safety and for speed. They're in the truck. They're sitting there. We'll actually go through and we'll actually dump the hopper, and then that way they can go faster and get out of here.
And let's go see how that works.
Let's walk up in here. Yep.
Okay, Roger. This is what's called a pit.
A pit.
Okay, we're seeing the grain, the
This
corn.
pit will hold 1,000 bushels. It should hold this truck. That's one of the goals. And this truck rolls in on here to be able to take enough where they can just drop it. This pit here will handle 20,000 bushels per hour. You're not supposed to be able to keep up with it, but these guys dump enough trucks on here so we stay ahead of that pit.
Okay.
How
does this stuff get transferred up into the bins? How does that
it's
work?
dropping down into a conveyor that will go over to a leg that'll lift it all the way up and run it into a conveyor, drops it into a bin.
That has to be happening in real time because you need to clear this for the next truck.
This one, and there's one on the other side too. The one on the other side is going directly to the barge.
Now, when you say that you do the dumping for the farmer, is that what they're doing now?
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing.
So he
farmer
doesn't
didn't get out of the truck. He stayed in the truck. We're there. You know, trying to do things as far as safety. We got things set up on here as far as dust control. You notice there's a lot of breeze coming through here, but this is sucking that dust off. We're doing things just environmentally sensitive to be there as far as for the farmer. You can see they're ready to go. They're ready to get across. And hi, Derek.
So you guys clear all the grain so they're starting fresh. Starting off fresh.
To a point. To a point. They might be changing commodities on here. Are you switching commodities, Ethan? They might be switching commodities. They might be getting ready to dump beans on here. They get a line. They can clean that pit out, let it go empty, and then they can dump a different commodity in here to keep it going.
How long does it take for these guys to open this thing up to dump this load?
Time one.
Okay.
Time one if you want.
Let's see. Let's just see how fast it goes.
There's almost 1,000 bushels of grain on this truck.
And we don't know what it is yet.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we do.
We do know. If you look back here on here, look at this, Randy. So this truck right here is dumping. He knows he's got beans on it. That truck is dumping. These are all the trucks that have been weighed coming in. These are what's coming down to get dumped into this. So what they did is they changed commodity on here. When the lines get busy, they figure out how to adjust. They got to let that pit completely run empty so we don't mix them. But they've changed commodities on here. He's sitting on with beans. They're going to open this gate up. That's why he's waiting. That's why he's waiting. Otherwise, he wouldn't wait. You probably saw he pulled out a line and come around the other side to get in here.
Yeah. It happens fast. It happens right away.
It happens fast. So, how's it going, Eli? Good. Going good? No issues today?
Not so far.
Not so far.
This Ursa Farmers Co-op facility can store 6.5 million bushels of grain. And it all goes out on these barges on the river. We'll be back with more Muddy River Gems brought to you by Dot Foods in a minute.
From our trucks to their lunch trays, to your local hospital, to your favorite pub, and to your kitchen table. For more than 60 years, Dot Foods and Dot Transportation have been stocking the shelves of your hometown. Sure, we've grown a lot, but at our core, we're still small-town, family-run businesses that care about our communities and the people who keep us running. Join the Dot family today and be part of something bigger.
Why work at Dot?
You could list out individual qualities forever.
There's a lot of opportunities. They take care of the employees, they take care of the community.
So our pay, our benefits, it's competitive. Time off, tons of flexibility.
They're willing to work with you to help you advance.
Well, Darren, we were just outside watching them dump those loads, right? Okay. There's a lot of work to be done inside here too, isn't there? Because
Sure.
it's all computerized information. Give us an overview of what's happening here.
Okay, so everything on the screen here just shows, so up top, this is where we switched all our different bins, which each bin's got its own commodity. So whether it be corn or soybeans, everything's labeled on each commodity. So if we have to switch commodities in any, like if we move a bin from corn to beans, we have to switch the commodity.
We just saw one happen here on this one, didn't we? Or was it the next one over? We were just watching them dump corn. Then they said they were going to dump beans.
Yep.
Which one was that? Is that
It was this pit here, but this is
which one point that to?
This leg right here is what runs that pit.
Okay.
There's the pit. There's the leg.
Okay. All right. And you make that switch in here too, right?
Yes. Everything gets switched in here. So when everything's working it, so it's going to tank 6, so it shows the line to that bin that it's going to. So we have to match the pit to the commodity we're dumping.
Does it show you when that one's full and you need to change to another bin?
It will. It'll show when it's full. And then we switch to another bin.
And this time of year, you might fill those bins up pretty quick.
Yeah, we've been filling them about every day.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So it's got to go out too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we made a quick trip to the barge location here. Okay, this is called, what is this area called here?
This is our barge loadout station.
Oh, it's loadout station, okay.
Yes.
And in fact, speaking of barges, that one just got loaded,
Just got loaded.
How do we know it just got loaded?
Well, look at the difference of how far down in the water it is versus the ones over here that are empty.
Oh man,
so we
it
loaded
really
that
weighs
barge.
them down, doesn't it?
Well, that barge we're loading today at a 9-foot 3-inch draft, and that 9-foot 3 means that there's 9-foot 3 inches of the barge that's under the water, and that's the standard of what they're asking for now to be able to get it to the Gulf.
Okay, do you operate these tugboats and all this?
We do not. There's a third-party firm called Canton Marine Towing that is an exceptional partner for Ursa. They will actually run everything from Quincy all the way up. They're actually south of Quincy as well, but they do all of our stevedoring here as far as moving our barges around.
Okay, but you actually built this barge location. This belongs to Ursa Co-op, and the barges belong to you?
The barges do not. The barges are not ours. We put all the money into this. We actually don't really own this here. The Canton Port Authority actually owns the location, but we actually put all the money into it and we invested into it, put the sheet walls in and the water and things like that.
And you're the only company that uses it?
We're the only company that's using it. Yes.
So you bring the grain over from the elevator.
So if you look over here, you can see the barge belt that comes across.
Yeah.
There's 1,136 feet of belt. We'll actually come over here and it'll come through. The guys up in the control room, which we'll go up and take a look, they can control they can open up a gate from setting a net seat up to any one of them bins over there, and they can pull grain to come back in to load into this barge.
Ah, okay. So once you actually get it into the grain bins that you want it in, you lose control over there. They get control over here to bring it here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Well, they've got control. We don't lose control.
Right.
They can actually load the barge from over there as well. They've got the ability to. That's the technology for you. They can actually open and do things here. It's just more efficient.
Okay, so we saw the computerized control room over there, and you've got another one up here.
Yes.
And can we go up there and see how that's done?
We can walk up into there. Yep. So today the plan is to load 5 barges at this location. So we're right in what's called the middle is a switch. They're moving the empty, taking a loaded one over, and they're getting ready to push a full one in so we can actually load it.
Susie, you're in marketing for the co-op. It's a busy time of year to bring all the grain in. Is it a busy time for the marketer too?
Always, yes, always. If the Chicago Board of Trade is open, it's always a busy time.
Is that right? Mm-hmm. What is it that you're finding in the market these days? It must be a kind of tumultuous time, with tariffs and with beans not being moved to some places and other places. Is it tumultuous? Is it a difficult time?
It is, yeah. The markets do not like volatility, so it just seems like everything with headline news, it affects the markets in one way, form, or fashion. So weather, yields, headlines, government shutdown, everything, it seems like impacts the grain markets.
It all matters. Now we've got, we were just talking about the third party, the Department of Ag person. She's going to take a look in this barge, is she not? What is she going to do?
She's going to take a look in there and make sure that there's nothing at the bottom of this barge, so then they can start loading.
Okay. There's no water or any sort of issues that would degrade the quality of the
debris or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. How long have you been in this business, Sue?
I grew up on a farm, born and raised, and married a farmer, but I've been with Ursa Farmers Co-op for going on almost 7 years.
Well, I imagine something's always new, isn't it?
Oh, every day's an adventure. That is true.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now an empty barge is pulling up. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you know it's empty because it's high above the water. It's sitting high in the water.
Yep.
Okay, are we going to load this today? Are we
We
going to
are.
load?
He's getting ready to load it right now.
Okay.
So there's times over here at this location, these guys have over here, we will actually be full. And the only place we can dump grain is in the barge receiving line. We've had that a lot, where we go full, and the only place is the only one's keeping the place open is Troy and Jim. They're keeping it open because when that barge, I've seen them come in there and have the corner in, and you stick the spout in, and you start pumping in before we even get the barge tied off.
That pit drops straight on the belt and comes straight out here. And that's the only room we got.
That's the only room we've got left. Now he's loading about 30,000 bushels per hour. So he's in here, so it moves. Now we have to stop when he has to do a different hole. So if you can see all them gates on there, so he's gonna get this barge is gonna come up. We're gonna come in and it's gonna get pulled over, it's gonna get anchored, and they're gonna put their winches on it. So he's actually got the ability on here, him and Jim, to be able to park this barge, and as they load it, they can actually winch it and move it downstream. They can move it in order to put it where they want it.
Okay.
But before we start on there, somebody goes out, they flip the doors open, somebody peeks into that barge, typically this third-party person, Kendra. She will look into this barge. It might take a walk before she does.
No, she'll
look. She's got to look in. She's going to pop in there and she's going to look. Why is she going to look? She's going to make sure that the integrity of that, so that container there is empty. It's got no water in it. So if you're the end user and you're the buyer, you want to make sure that third party said that barge is clean. There's no issues with it.
Right.
Once she gives the all good, she comes in, they start loading it, and they move on.
Okay, and that third party happens to work for the Department of Ag in Missouri, right?
Missouri
so that's how
Department
you
of
know it's all up and up.
Yes.
Okay, now this barge that's coming in here, this holds, I think you said, the equivalent of 60 truckloads of grain?
Yes.
Whoa, man.
Yes.
Okay, and what are we going to put in here? Corn or beans, or does it matter?
We're loading corn today.
Okay. Do you ever load both? Or
We do.
You do?
We do. We do. No, not at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's a bad day.
But you might put them.
Well,
both
there
on
might
the
be
same
in there.
barge.
So it depends on what's happening over there at the plant. Now he loaded 2 bean barges yesterday, and they loaded a corn barge. So they loaded it because guess what? We needed the space. So they've got to watch. It's all a matter about what's coming in and how fast we got to turn and burn it. We got to get it out.
And you're very busy, and you're almost full up there. So you need to keep loading these.
We got to keep loading barges. We got to keep loading barges. So you see how fast he's putting that in there? Won't be long. They'll get it tied off. Darren's down hooking things up.
Okay, Roger, tell us what's going on now. We've been waiting for this barge to tie up, and it looks like they successfully have done it.
Yep. So you're seeing Jim here. Jim's actually loading the barge, so he's moving the spout in position. Once he gets the spout in position, he's gonna open up the gate to call for grain on the barge belt. So with the barge belt, we have to empty it. When we stop, we empty the barge belt. It takes about 3 minutes on there. There's about 300 bushels on the belt. And so he's calling for grain now. If you can see on here, Mark, he's calling for grain. He's opening up the screen. He's opening up the gate. He's telling it to send grain this way. It'll take about 3 minutes from where he's pulling it from. Is that correct, Jim? So Jim's job is to load this barge to the draft. So what does that mean? On each one of these corners on here, he's got a 9'3" draft. So he's going to put enough grain on there to sink that barge down. Now there's times on here with low water, if he goes 9'4", 9'5", the towing company won't take it. They'll make us unload some of that grain, which is a real pain. So one of our goals with being here, as I said, safety is a big thing. So each time we try to minimize the number of times these guys have got to walk out onto that barge. And why would we do that? Because there's a risk of them falling over into the river.
Sure.
Now we got current here. And that's something we don't have. So if you'll see our guys, they got to put a life jacket on when they climb onto that barge. You got to look. But as he starts loading, somebody's got to take a peek. But this piece of equipment here, and there's magnetics on all 4 corners. Where they actually got them on 3 corners down, not on this corner. But it'll actually electronically tell him what's going down and how far it's going down. So it limits the number of times they got to be out on that barge. That's the big benefit.
Yeah.
And it's accurate. And also this thing will track this barge. This thing's got every barge in the system. There's times on here where we'll get a barge that these guys put POS on, and I'll let you decipher what piece of what. It's a bad barge. And so in the future, this thing's going to be able to tell us when we get ready to merchandise barges that we don't want barge number BG125 or some odd reason, because it's an old barge that needs work done on it. There's times on these barges have been bumped up against everything. Useful life of this barge is about 30 years. It's a solid chunk of steel. Underneath this barge, there's a low area. There's a baffle area that it stays above. And it's not uncommon for water to go into that baffle area. It's got to be pumped out. And so as this barge gets older and it gets used, those markings on the side become almost invisible. You can't see them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the challenges these guys have got as far as loading. So we're trying to offset it here with some new technology.
Susie, we've talked about the co-op, but what exactly is a co-op and how does it work?
A co-op is a member-owned company, so all the members are owners of the cooperative. So anybody that brings grain into Ursa Farmers Co-op is essentially a cooperative member, otherwise known as a patron.
So every one of these trucks that goes through here is considered a member?
Whoever is delivering the grain, or whatever farmer is having their truck driver or whoever deliver the grain. But yes, exactly.
So what's the advantage to that farmer, for instance, for being a co-op member?
Well, you own your own business, so you're bringing in your grain to a cooperative that you own a part of. So it's an advantage to that point, and we're not a corporation, so we think of the farmer first. We put the farmer first and forefront at how we think and how we do business.
Does the farmer get anything back in return for being a member?
So they'll get patronage if we issue a patronage out at the end of the year. Otherwise, they could get DPAD, which would be another tax benefit. But they do have other benefits for delivering into a co-op, member-owned cooperative.
And they get the advantage of they feel like you know them and they know you.
Sure.
And you're sort of open for business all the time for them.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, these are people, I work with producers that I see on a day-to-day basis, whether it be at church, whether it be at ball games, whether it be at the restaurant, for dinner. So we work neighbors helping neighbors.
Thank you. Surprisingly, this may not be the most busy time of year at this co-op. Believe it or not, in March, it gets even busier. Thanks for watching Muddy River Gems, brought to you by Dot Foods. I'm Mark McDonald.
This episode of Muddy River Gems was brought to you by Dot Foods.